What's going on, YouTube Sooner Nation? Today we're here to talk about some big-time five-star prospects that are visiting Oklahoma this weekend for Sooners Under the Stars. You heard me right. For those of you who want to believe 2026, it's not a real class, well, see you later, because 2026, it's here, especially with the staff really wrapping up 2025. They're really going to start focusing on some of these 2026 kids, trying to get a head start over some of the other schools. And when you hear about where some of these kids are from and their names, you're going to understand why the staff wants to get a head start, because they got defensive linemen, we got athletes, we got defensive ends, we got linebackers. Guys, they're all coming. So join the discussion, jump in the comments below, give me your thoughts, because today we're going to talk about 5 of the more crucial targets that I think are going to be on campus that Oklahoma really needs to hit it out of the park with. But then we're going to talk about the compiled list that we have so far. You guys can find that down in the description below. And obviously, there's going to be guys that are added and subtracted. So make sure you guys are continuing to tune back in here for that added and updated list. All right. So Oklahoma, they're doing their thing on the recruiting trail. And we talked about some of this when some of these names started to drop for Oklahoma. And one of the ones, if you guys remember, we've talked about him, but it was James Carrington. Now, James Carrington is a 6'2", 270-pound defensive lineman out of Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, obviously, there are some ties there. You've got DeMarco Murray from the area. He's obviously went to the NFL, had success at Oklahoma. So you definitely might want to try to be able to utilize that as much as possible. But he's got over 30 offers from a lot of teams across the country. The interesting thing about this recruitment is he's not from this area of Vegas, right? He's just going to school at Bishop Gorman. But if you're Oklahoma, you've gotten guys like Javonte Barnes out of the area. You've gotten Jake Taylor out of the area. So you've got a more recent pipeline that you should or might be able to use. So we're going to see how Oklahoma does with James Carrington. We're actually going to have him on the podcast this weekend to record an interview post his Oklahoma visit. But guys, here's why he's a big target for Oklahoma. He had 33 total tackles last season, 29 solos, 15 sacks, and again, 38 QB hurries. I think a lot of people forget QB hurries, important stat for interior defensive linemen. But this is one 5-star prospect that's going to be visiting in the trenches that I think Oklahoma could have a really good shot for if they really prioritize the kid and make him see that Oklahoma is a place that he could see himself at this weekend. So important for Oklahoma to get ahead in this recruitment as early as they possibly can. But the next prospect is Brandon Arrington. If you guys remember, we talked about Brandon Arrington also a couple weeks ago, and Jay Valai, I believe, is the one recruiting him right now. I believe that's what he told me. But Brandon Arrington's also a track athlete. He had a 10-27 200 meter, a 20-40. He had a 20-40 on the. No, he had a 10-27 100 meter, a 20-40 200 meter, and he had a 4.38 40-yard dash. So the kid's got some speed, 6'3", 180, really good size. Emmett Jones is tagging along Jay Valai in this recruitment. So you got 2 of your better recruiters on this kid. This is one that I think you absolutely need to land, just because we're going to see Travis Hunter go to the league this year. And I think there's going to be a lot more kids like Brandon Arrington that want to maybe follow the Travis Hunter path, where they play defense, they play offense, right? They showcase those skills, especially if Travis Hunter is a top 10 pick in the NFL. Obviously, there's going to be some value shown in that as well. But on the offensive side of the ball, guys, just in the receiving game, 426 yards. He had 6 touchdowns in 2 years. Defensively, 18 solo tackles, 25 total tackles. This is a guy that you don't want to miss on. I think Oklahoma would love to have Brandon Arrington. And again, you hit it out of the park. I think you set yourself up in a good spot to be able to land his pledge when that time comes. The next one, though, is Jaylen Pile, 6 foot, 175 pounds, out of Dallas, Texas. Emmett Jones, he's been putting in work here. We've been talking to Jaylen Pile on the side. He, again, got 21 total offers. These are kids that there's a lot of teams across the country that want their services. They want their talent. A top 100 prospect, in my opinion, a guy that I do think will be a consensus 4-star across the board. Guys, let me tell you what Jaylen Pile has done in his first year as varsity. 427 yards on 16 receptions for 5 touchdowns. He's going to continue to build upon that this year. Jaylen Pile, going to be an absolute stud for Oklahoma. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you really want Emmett Jones, who just feels like he's been on a heater this cycle, to really be able to continue that in the 2026 and get a guy like this from the Dallas metro area where we expected Emmett Jones to be able to recruit well since he's gotten to Oklahoma. The next prospect, though, that we've talked about before, and I really want Oklahoma fans to understand the importance of getting a guy like this. It's Kevin Ford Jr. Now, when this cycle originally started, when they originally initial rankings, he was a 5-star. He has slipped a little bit, but remember, he plays at Duncanville, so he's going to get an opportunity to showcase his skills at a national level, and he's going to be attending camps. So I expect Kevin Ford Jr., I expect his stock to rise. And 247 has him at 57, and the composite he's only at 102. So he's got the opportunity to get back into that 5-star territory. But 6'3", 225, this is going to be an all Miguel Chavis recruitment. Now, Oklahoma has not recruited Duncanville very well. You see LSU, you see Texas kind of get in there. I think Oregon just got Jakore Smith out of there. Here's the deal with Duncanville. If Oklahoma can get in there and you get a guy like Kevin Ford Jr., I think you potentially get yourself a very small pipeline started. And Kevin Ford Jr. is a guy that he's been to Oklahoma like 3 times this year. He had 31 solo tackles last season, 53 total tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 18 QB hurries. So Kevin Ford Jr., he has the talent and he has the ability to be one of the next best defensive ends for Miguel Chavis. And then lastly, it's going to be Felix Ojo, 4-star offensive tackle. This is another one that we've talked about a couple times. If you get Michael Fasusi or any of these other big offensive tackles in this class, Felix Ojo might be your primary offensive tackle target. We really like what he's doing. Likes Bill Beatonbow. He's been up here several times. We'll see where Oklahoma goes. But if they can hit the ball out of the park with those 5 guys, that would be an excellent start to this 2026 class with guys you already have committed in Jaden O Neal, Jonathan Hatton, and Ryder Mix, who are going to be on campus this weekend. So who's going to be on campus? James Carrington, Brandon Arrington, both 5-stars. Going into your 4-stars, QB, Jaden O Neal, running back, Jonathan Hatton, tight end, Ryder Mix, wide receiver, Jaylen Pile, wide receiver, Mason James, right outside Norman North, offensive tackle, Felix Ojo and Maxwell Robinson, defensive end, Kevin Ford Jr., linebacker, Jakore Smith, safety, Jordan Deck, safety, Xavier, and I believe it's pronounced Lherisse. I think I said that right. Then going into your 3-stars, you got offensive tackle, Deacon Schmitt, offensive tackle, Cortavious Tisaby, offensive lineman, I don't even want to pronounce this, but I think it's his last name's Katoa. You guys can see him down in the description as well. And then wide receiver, Aljour Miles. Again, I'm sure we're going to have more guys added to this list because I'm recording this early morning on a Thursday or on a Wednesday, early morning Wednesday. So I'm sure all throughout the day of Wednesday, you're going to see more guys added. You're also going to have some 2027 guys. You'll see them down there. Not really going to focus too much on that list just because we're heading into a 2026 cycle, and those are the guys that I think matter the most right now. 2027, we'll kind of follow who's showing up to campus the most. But most notably, you're going to have Zane Rowe and Peyton Houston there. So those are some big-time prospects. But, guys, I want to hear from y'all. Make sure you guys join the discussion. Jump down in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on this smaller list for the Sooners under the Stars. Again, I expect it to grow, but Oklahoma's got some elite visitors on there. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you want Brent Venables and the staff to hit it out of the park. If you guys have not already, make sure you guys jump in the comments below and hit that like and hit that subscribe button.